as soon as I like was able to sing or dance or like even tap the chairs, I've always had a love for music. And I told my mom when I was in high school, I was like, Mom, I'm not going to college because I'm gonna do music. Like that's gonna be my thing. And obviously parents are like, Kat, like you got to go to school, because I come from a family that they all went to college and all that stuff. And when I met Alex and we started doing our thing, they finally understood. And
yeah, and for me, I mean, ever since I was a kid, like I've got videos of me like dancing around to Bad Boys theme song,
Very
Cops. My dad would watch the show and I'd just start bopping. So there's always been that like love for music ever since I was little. My dad was a drum major in high school and played cello and the flute and guitar and just anything he could pick up, he would try to learn it. So I feel like I have that running through my veins. And but he ended up in the military and works for the government. So when I told him I wanted to drop out of college and all that good stuff, he was just like, man, what are you doing? But he sees me now and he sees how happy I am. I feel like he lives vicariously through what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because he loves it. He always kind of wanted to be a musician himself. So yeah, I'd have to say I probably got it from my dad. Our love for each other, and I don't know if everybody's gonna understand this, but I always say when it's from God, it's there's something that you can't explain.
It's like otherworldly almost.
It is.
And since the day that we met, I feel like that's when everything sparked, and it's been like that ever since. So Alex was performing at a church, and I'd seen him that day. And for me, it was love at first sight. I don't fall in love easily or anything like that. I was raised around boys, so I'm very tough. But weeks passed, and I did not say anything. I didn't DM him, but my friend was like, hey, I found him on Instagram, and if you don't DM him or follow him, I'm literally going to grab your phone and follow him. So either way, it's going to look like you did it. And I was like, maybe this is God. Maybe this is a sign. So I just followed him. I took a leap of faith. 5 minutes later, he follows me back, likes a couple of my pictures, I like a couple of his, and then he does not slide in the DMs. He comments on one of my covers of me playing a song, and he's like, we should totally collab sometime. I read that, freaking out, obviously. So we decided to meet up at the park by my house. My friend came too, so just in case he was a crazy guy, we could take him down together. And she was also there to film it as well. We went, we sang the song, and it was like an instant connection, at least for me, singing the song with you.
Yeah, same.
And the music that we sing, it's just so emotional. And then the song that he sang yesterday at the Bluebird, had me crying, because it's like, I feel the same thing for him, and I can't imagine doing it without him. He's my best friend, and I was doing music before alone, and now that he's with me, I can't imagine it without him. He's just the best.
And it's so crazy when things just align themselves. And I feel like that's how our story is.
Our story is crazy.
We weren't even like looking for each other, and then the next thing, her friend is going at him on Instagram.
Thank God she did. I would have hated myself if I didn't do it.
Pieces, you give your heart in pieces. It's hard to find when someone's lost your trust. Take your time. I know these things can take some time, but having your heart will never be enough. No. I want you Friday nights to Sunday mornings, and all blue skies and won't stop stormings. I miss you texts and drunk phone calls. So I want it all. I know you're hurt, I know your heart's been broke, but I can love you like you've never known. Like God, you gotta let it fall, 'cause I want it all. Ooh, I want all of you. Like God, you gotta let it fall, 'cause I want it all. Prove it. No, I ain't afraid to prove it. That I'm only falling for you. And that smile, head over heels for that smile. There's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. Oh, yo quiero todas tus noches y mañanas, tu cielo claro y las tormentas. A otro mundo quiero llevarte. Yo quiero son está roto, pero déjame entrar un poco. No temas, quiero ayudarte. Yo quiero amarte. I wanna love you. But God, you gotta let it fall, 'cause I want it all. Friday nights to Sunday mornings, all blue skies and won't stop storming. Miss you, texts and drunk phone calls. I want it all.
So I Want It All was born the day that we went into the studio with our really good buddy AJ Bruce, and he was like, "What do y'all want to write about today?" And that was one of those days that we were just like, we don't know what to write about. He's like, "Didn't y'all just get married? Isn't that something crazy to write about?" And we're like, "Yes, we did. That's something crazy we should write about." So we wrote our wedding vows to each other basically in that song, and every single time we sing that song, it takes me back to our wedding day, and I just love it.
Yeah, I think it's important to be reminded that in love, you're going to go through good times and bad times.
But no matter what, y'all are going to stick together.
That's right. And maybe people come from broken places. Maybe you've been in a bad relationship in the past, but it doesn't mean that you can't start over and do life with somebody. So that's what I Want It All is all about.
And find that special someone. Mm-hmm. We choose to sing in Spanish because it is authentic to who we are, and I feel like country music is all about being yourself and being authentic. And when we did start doing country music, we were just like, we just got to be who we are, and just it was natural for us to do both. And in Miami, we speak Spanglish. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first time my grandma was able to hear the song and actually understand what we were singing was so special.
Yeah, I think for sure country music is all about authenticity. It's just real music, real songs that talk about stories of life and struggle and jobs and love and heartache. So if we're going to be doing that kind of music, we need to be authentic to who we are as artists. So singing in both languages is extremely important to us. I think it's always important that when you are on a journey to do something that you truly believe in, to remember that there are going to be people that don't agree with what you want to do. They don't like what you're doing. People don't like change sometimes. But it's a responsibility that you have when you take on a challenge like that, not only for yourself, but for the people that you're representing. In our case, we're representing Latinos. And we're not a culture that is trying to hate on anybody. I mean, we if anything, we're one of the cultures that really we embrace people. Come to our house. You're part of our family. Yeah. And when we respond to criticism, whether it's on social media or in real life out in wherever we are, it's important to just always approach those things with love. You know, when people are angry about things, when people show hatred, it's because they just don't understand. Maybe they're
100%.
confused. Maybe they're uneducated about something. And instead of snapping back, fighting fire with fire, you just kind of
teach them
and show them love.
Yeah.
Love is such a powerful thing.
Amen.
And it's just important to us to just keep loving on other people no matter what, because what we're doing is important to us. It's important to other people, and
we're here to spread the love. Yeah. And that's right. We're here to keep on doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I grew up on Gloria Estefan, Celia Cruz, a lot of the really big Cuban greats and Hispanic greats in general. And then I also had Garth Brooks, Shania Twain, Tim McGraw, all that other stuff. And it was a good blend of both. My grandfather, we call him a Cuban cowboy because he rode horses, and he would listen to both Spanish music, and then he would turn on some country music. And that's where I found my love for both of them. And they're both so similar with their storytelling and just the way they make you feel.
Yeah, and I had a very similar influence growing up, listening to Spanish music, especially at family get-togethers.
Oh yeah, they cranked that.
But then I grew up in Powder Springs, Georgia, and I just remember sitting in my mom's van when she'd drive us around, and she put on the radio, and at the time, this is in the 90s, so it was like the 70s, 80s, and today. So I got everything from disco music to rock and roll, Fleetwood Mac, the alternative music of those days, and a lot of really singer-songwriting kind of songs, and so it's just a huge blend of music that I fell in love with and influences me today in what we do. We're really obsessed with Western culture and cowboy culture and all that, and we wanted to write kind of that real Western-y kind of cowboy song.
Yeah.
So I said, well, how about Cowboys Need Sunsets? I mean, just throw it right in the title. And when we thought about ideas for the song and the inspiration, I mean, we both relate when it comes to both of our grandmothers passed away, actually from cancer.
Yeah.
And so, going through that together, we had this common ground where we said, we could write a song dedicated to them that talks about how losing someone in life is very normal. It's everybody goes through it. We all got our place here on earth, but it comes to an end at some point. But it's not something to really be sad about. It's kind of a beautiful thing. And when people leave this earth, they're not leaving behind people they didn't care about. They're leaving behind people that they love. And the same thing goes with Cowboys. Cowboys ride off in the sunset, and they made relationships in that town. Maybe they fell in love or saved a life or something like that.
Very true.
We really wanted to portray that cowboy story to how similar it is to losing somebody.
Yeah.
Roses are red, and so is your heart. And horses are bred for running real far. We know that there'll come a day that both gonna break. Lipstick stains, marks on my skin. Love was made for pulling me in, but even those lipstick stains, they're gonna fade. Don't you wait on me now. I'll be gone. Don't you think it was all for nothing? Yeah, 'cause I need you like cowboys need sunsets. Your boots are made for stirrups and spurs, and I didn't think I'd feel this much hurt. But maybe if I close my eyes, it'll all go away. Don't you wait on now. I'll be gone for a while. Don't you think it was all for nothing? Yeah, 'cause I need you like cowboys need sunsets. Cowboys need sunsets. Don't you wait on me now. I'll be gone for a while. Don't you think it was all for nothing? Yeah, 'cause I need you, and I
I need you.
Like cowboys need sunsets.